He's one of our favorite guests, always available, always insightful. The former defensive back, now working for the mothership as a college football and NFL analyst. He's Louis Riddick joining us on the program.
Yo.
Looks like he could still hit somebody.
What's going on, bud?
Yeah, all right.
Oh, I like the jacket.
You like this? It's not. Is that too much zipper? Is that no? Okay, it's good. Good. All right. Good. I'm glad y'all like it. I'm glad. This is great. This is a great setup, man.
You look like you could be in the car with Denzel in Training Day.
You know what? I kind of like this. Let me tell you how I bought this jacket. So I'm a big like airport shopper. So depending upon like the airport you go to, a lot of airports have like high-end shopping. I'm walking through the Newark airport the other day, and I'm like, I have a jacket on. I'm not really feeling it. I'm just like, man, this is like crap. I need to get something better than this. And I look, and they have this high-end shopping, like a Hugo Boss place, and I'm like, it's like 6 in the morning, and they're just opening it. I was like, give me that jacket. I bought that thing on the spot, put this thing on, put my other one in the suitcase. I've been wearing it ever since. That's how I do things, though. Spur of the moment.
Spontaneous.
That's right. That's right.
Did you play that way?
Spontaneous? No, I was kind of analytical because Bill Belichick and Nick were always on my you-know-what, man. So I didn't really kind of play too spontaneous. I was kind of real analytical, but I'll tell you this, though. When I got you lined up, Dan, it was lights out. It was nighty-night.
Really?
I was a big-time hitter. And that's how football was back then, though. Big safeties, Steve Atwater, Ronnie Lott, Dennis Smith. That's what Kenny Easley. Those were all my heroes, man. So that's kind of how the game was played then. That was my game.
Who'd you knock out?
Oh, let's see. Well, there was 2 guys, right? So there was my rookie year when I was with the Falcons. Well, I was with Jerry Glanville. I know I had a concussion in that game, but that was before like concussion protocols became like what they are now. I mean, I just remember Scott Case and them looking at me going, like, he was like, dude, you don't know what's going on, do you? I was like, no, not at all. So every play, like, it was a preseason game.
And Scott Case would know.
Scott Case was like one of the like true like football assassins back in the day. So I hit this kid named Lynn James from Cleveland in a preseason game. Unfortunately, I think it wound up like cracking a bone in his neck, and he had to retire. And I was like not all together at that point in time. I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just kind of like, I remember dropping down into like this robber type coverage and saw the ball thrown and hit him about as hard as I possibly could. A guy named Frankie Smith, one of our defensive backs, his finger got caught in between my helmet and the shoulder pad, ripped the tip of his finger off. It was a nasty play, and I was concussed during the play, so I don't even remember what the hell really happened. Because I had hit Kevin Mack earlier in that game. That's what had happened.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So you know what I mean?
Kevin Mack hit
Kevin
you.
Mack is like,
yeah.
but
Kevin,
yeah, I think there was that one. Vincent Brisby from the Patriots in our playoff game in '95. I clocked him pretty darn good. I had a couple of them. Terrell Fletcher from the Chargers out in San Diego once. I caught him on the sideline, flipped him like a bowling pin once. I saw some pretty good ones.
Do you run into these guys, and does this come up?
No, I haven't seen a lot of those. I haven't seen a lot of those dudes. But you know what? That's how we used to do it. You remember the late, great Eric Turner, the safety from the Browns who passed away?
Yeah.
Probably one of the fiercest hitters I've ever seen, ever. Like this guy, that's how football was, though, back then. That's how it used to be.
I remember Rodney Harrison telling me that he faced Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
Jerry came over the middle. Rodney said, I don't care who he is. He clocked him.
You know what's funny?
And he got fined for it. But he said, I had to let Jerry Rice know who I was. And Dan, you don't come over the middle.
Dan, I have the funniest damn story about Jerry Rice. Okay, so we're playing San Francisco, Monday Night Football, 1996 in Atlanta. And that's when Steve was there and Brent Jones, I believe, was still there. Ricky was the running back, Waters and all. Anyway, Jerry runs a slant. And I had him lined up, but Steve overthrew him. And I'm screaming in Jerry's face. I'm like, expletive, expletive, expletive. Like, you're so lucky you didn't catch that ball. You're so lucky. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if I can get up, but I literally, like, he looks at me, and he grabs my shoulder pad, and he turns me around and looks at my nameplate on the back, and he goes, who are you? And walks away, and I was just like,
wow.
And I just kind of like, a couple of teammates heard it, and they were just like, damn, dude, he just clowns you. he literally turned me around. He was like, who are you? I was like, you would have known who I was It was like one of those where you like, you want to talk to the GOAT. You want to tell the GOAT how you were about to knock him out, and he was just like, I don't even know who you are. So I mean, like what do I care? I was like, well, whatever. But I got Steve pretty good in that game too. Steve Young is, look, I call him the great Steve Young whenever I see him because he truly is. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play this game. Steve was so damn good. I caught him one time. I caught him in midair. He tried to jump over me. He was running like a quarterback keeper, and I dumped him on his head. It was a pretty good hit too. He fumbled the ball and stuff, but that was that same game. And like honestly, I think that '96 season, I played against some really good teams that year, man. I mean, we played against. I mean, Dallas was still rolling at that time. That might have been 92, 93. I played against Brett Favre. We played all the great quarterbacks back then. I mean, there were some just really, really dominant teams in the early 90s.
But I remember Mike Holmgren telling me about Favre. I
Yeah.
said, what's it like coaching him? He said, well, he loves degree of difficulty. That guy's open, but that guy's got three guys covering him. I'm going to the guy who's covered by three.
That seems like Brett. That seems like, I first met Brett.
But could you fool him into making him make those difficult throws?
Now, interestingly enough, okay, so I played against Brett when he was in his rookie season when Sterling Sharp and all them were still there in the early 90s. Could you fool Brett into it? I don't necessarily think that Brett really cared if you were trying to fool him. He's going to do what he wanted to do. So whether or not he read the coverage right or not, it didn't really matter. He's just he's doing what he wants to do because he had that kind of like arm arrogance that guys like Stafford have now, where it doesn't really matter what you do because they know there's like only about, maybe a handful of guys who've ever walked the face of the earth who can fit a ball into a spot that maybe no one else can. So they do it anyway. Those are guys who are like Elway was kind of like that. Like when you played against John, you knew that he had that go-go gadget arm and could throw it a mile, and he could also run. And he just had that look on his face like, I don't really care what you do. It's about what I do. And those dudes are special, man. And yeah, Brett was like that.
Talking to Louis Riddick of the Mothership, you strike me as somebody who doesn't make their Super Bowl pick on Monday. That you might wait until Friday or Saturday.
Yeah, that's part of my analytical nature, man.
But is there something that you could see that's going to change your opinion today, Thursday morning? Is there something you could hear or watch that would change your opinion?
The only thing that right now I believe. Okay, if you heard something about the health status about one of these quarterbacks being maybe worse than what they're leading us on to believe. So if Drake's shoulder is not quite as good as maybe he says it is, or if Sam's oblique is like bothering him maybe a little bit more than people says it is, that's maybe the thing that could kind of tilt me one way or another. I'm kind of 50-50 on this game, man. I really am. Because, look, I think the combination of Vrabel and Josh McDaniels is as good, if not the very best in the league. I mean, how many Super Bowls has Josh McDaniel coached in?
Yeah.
Is it like 9, 10, something ridiculous? Mike has played in a bunch and won a bunch. I think they're the best coach team in the NFL, that combination. I think Mike McDonald's one of the most analytical, even-keeled, level-headed guys in the NFL that you're blown away by. And their football team defensively is just ridiculous. But so is New England's. Seattle's offense is a little bit more explosive. Sam has a penchant for either being really good or he can have one of those games where you're sitting there going, Now, you see why maybe, Minnesota has some reservations, although I think by and large, Minnesota still wishes that they had Sam Darnold. I don't know, man. I'm going back and forth on this. I'm leaning towards Seattle because of how strong they are defensively and because of the explosiveness they have on offense. But coaching matters in this league, as we know. And New England's got two of the very best. And their defense is a problem, too.
Yeah. JSN, would he have been a big problem for you?
All wide receivers were a problem for me, man. Like I was a big old like RoboCop type safety that was just trying to knock you out. I wasn't trying to cover too many people. I think that's the game has changed so much, man. It really has. I was talking to Charles Woodson like a couple years ago. It was when we were down in Phoenix when the Chiefs were playing Philly the first time, and we were standing on the sideline, and I was just looking at the players, and I was like, Charles, what do you notice about these guys? And he's like, just how streamlined and just how athletic every single person looks. like the DBs aren't as big as they used to be, but they're so much more athletic. They're so much more explosive. Because we were just talking about, like, if you let these guys play the same way we played, I mean, guys would really be getting hurt. They had to kind of dial it back, just because of how big and thick and muscular and stuff all these guys are. But the athleticism is so much different. The requirements at defensive back, by and large, are the same. But I just think the quality of athlete has really ramped up. And for me, look, I would have been. There are a few teams I still could play for. Like I could still play for those big zone teams. That I would have been a good. You know what I should have done? I should have done what the late great Mr. Al Davis told me to do, which was move the linebacker. Ooh. I would have been a hell of a Will Backer now.
Okay.
But I still got my 7-8 years in. I'm good. Now I get to do this, man. I mean,
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
No.
After you're done with this.
No, you know what? Exactly. Yeah. I heard Andrew talking about that. That's the thing that you don't miss. But you know what? At the same time, I kind of do miss the pain a little bit. I kind of do miss laying in the training room.
When's the last time
week.
you hit somebody?
Oh, gosh. 1998. I think that was the last time that I really felt, like that thrill of like knocking the crap out of someone. Although I was playing in a parents versus kids soccer game with my daughter, back in 2010, and kind of slipped on the grass and literally went head over heels, and that didn't feel very good. But I've had, back in 2015, man, I had three disc fusion surgery in my neck because of the way we used to hit back then. So those days of being physical, they're long gone for me, man. Long gone.
You look at that Cleveland Browns staff that you had, Belichick and
goodness.
Nick Saban.
It was.
How come you guys weren't good?
Because we didn't have any offense. We stunk on offense. I mean, damn, we stunk. It wasn't good. We had one of the best defenses in '94 in the history of the league. And, I mean, we would just snuff people out. I mean, blank them. And we'd still lose games. So that '94 season, we lost to the Steelers 3 times that year, twice in the regular season. Then we lost to them in the divisional round in Pittsburgh. I remember we went there to Pittsburgh, and we ran out on the football field for pregame. It was myself, Eric Turner, maybe Rob Burnett, Anthony Place, a couple of guys on defense. I remember seeing this figure down in the corner of the end zone. I see this dude standing there who was like a cut-off gray T-shirt. He had his Steeler pants on, and I just remember seeing his arms, and it was Greg Lloyd. And he was standing there waiting, and he's just screaming, "Where the bleep is Vinny? Where's Vinny?" Like Testaverde. And I remember looking at Eric Turner going, "Dude, we are dead. We are dead today."
And so was Vinny.
Oh my God! And you know what they had? So that's when they had Bam Morris, John L. Williams, and who was the other running back? Bam, John L. I forget who the other guy was. They had 3 backs go for over 100 yards that day. 3. I had 11 tackles at halftime. So that's we just couldn't score, Dan. That was the problem.
If you were getting tackles, that means they're at the second level.
Yeah. And I played down in the box because remember I wasn't a big cover guy. I was a tackler.
That's right.
They had me down in the box a lot. But yeah, you know what? That staff. Getting back to that staff though, that was football. That was like going to the Harvard of football. To learn from Nick and Bill at the same time, it was so hard at the time because of the demands that they put on you. And I'm telling you, I had a lot of sleepless nights those 3 years in Cleveland. But as I tell Nick now, and I tell Bill anytime I see him, I would not change it for the world. Those guys are savants. They are one of one. And whenever you lost football games or didn't play well, it was your fault. It wasn't their fault because they gave you the answers. It's just whether or not you could use them. They are that damn smart. And those 2 guys, they're the 2 greatest coaches in my mind of all time, without a doubt.
Which one is the greatest coach of all time?
I think I hit it off with, I had a much more personal relationship with Nick than I did with Bill because Bill was the head coach and Nick was the coordinator and the DB coach. Bill was very much like you think he is. Bill was very business by the book, not very emotional about things. He would say hi to you 1 minute and the next minute tell you I'm cutting you, get out of here. And wouldn't break a smile. Nick was so hard on you, but when you did it the way you wanted, he would give you that look that kind of like that fatherly look that you're I approve, that's what I want from you. So he was the guy who I gravitated towards, but I'll tell you what now, both of those dudes, they are not for everyone. But if you get coached by them, and you win their approval, there's no greater feeling because they truly are the grandmasters of this game.
Great to see you.
Of course.
Thanks for all your contributions this year.
I
Always
love it.
available. We love your insights.
Yeah.
Louis Riddick of the Mothership. We'll
Appreciate
take a
it.
break. We're back after this.